And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Evan Watson. This is another episode of the official MTW podcast. I have a few gentlemen here. Of course, Marvin, our regular guest, Marvin and John. They always manage. They like to stop by, and two of my oldest buddies from way back in the day, Robbie Heitzman and George Katsopoulos. Gentlemen, thank you for coming to the podcast this afternoon.
Well, thank you for inviting us, Evan.
All right.
Thank you for having us.
No worries. And I'll make this quick. I realize some of these podcasts have been going kind of long. So I'll try and make this as brief as possible, but I usually don't have any time constraints. Now, I just wanted to get your guys' thoughts. Oscars are tomorrow night. Thank you, George. We'll be at George's house watching.
Yeah.
We much appreciate that again. It's the second time George has volunteered to host it because he has cable. He has cable!
George, rich nigga, click me.
George's been doing very well, apparently, in the business.
I have to watch the Knicks lose somewhere.
I think the cable is the one way to say it.
Cable. Yeah, cable. He's doing all right. George doing big things. You call him the cable guy. But all right. So now, Robbie, we talked about this last night. Robbie, you guys have saw my top 10. You've heard this top. If you can go on the first podcast, you can listen to my top 10. Robbie Heitzman, you have yours 10 pulled up, and I wanted to hear them. I wanted to be as shocked. I want to hear them at the moment. So, Robbie, the stage is yours. Robbie Heitzman's top 10 films of 2014. Go.
Well, this was really good because this is the first time I've ever actually seen enough movies to do a top 10. But first off, the honorable mentions are Nightcrawler. It was a wonderful feel-bad movie.
The feel-bad movie of the year.
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Jake Gyllenhaal did a good job. And
Gyllenhaal's busy, man. This is Gyllenhaal year.
I'd say he got shafted, but the leading actor race is so close.
A couple dudes got shafted this year, man.
Yeah.
It's hard. But yeah, other honorable mentions, please.
John Wick. The action movie with Keanu Reeves was surprisingly badass.
Yeah. Continue, sir.
And the Lego movie, which...
Good movie.
Everything is awesome indeed, but not awesome enough for an Academy Award for animated feature. Not awesome enough. That was the other Selma. It was Lego Movie and Selma. That was kind of those were the shafts there. All right, so those are what was it?
Those are my 3 honorable mentions.
All right, now give it to me. 10 from 10 to 1. Let's go.
All right, 10 to 1. Number 10 is the Planet of the Apes movie. Dawn or
Good.
Awakening.
I was a big fan.
My number 10 as well. Very nice. Very nice.
It deserved to be on this list.
Right. What's number 9, sir?
Number 9, brief preface, I really wanted this movie to be higher on the list. I really wanted it to be like my favorite movie of the year. I've been looking forward to it for so long. Was Inherent Vice.
Number 9? Oh, that was my number no.
I heard
That was number never. So,
I respect that. Decision.
That's it. That was good because I know you were like I remember like 2 years ago you were talking about.
Originally it was supposed to be RDJ.
That was supposed to be his film. Yeah, okay.
I would have. I love
that. Would have been like number
Kiss Bang Bang.
Oh my god. But it was good. It was too incoherent to follow. I'm definitely gonna watch it again, but it wasn't as good as There Will Be Blood or The Master.
It was
or
good. It was good as an establishing tone. It was a very transient film. I respected the visceral nature of the film, but yeah, I do agree. It was too incoherent and it just lacked direction.
I was really looking forward to like how it was gonna start off too. And then
the intro of the movie was incredible.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
Yeah, it was, So, all right, go on.
All right, number 8 was Blue Ruin.
Marvin, as Marvin with the kiss.
You stick your tongue in my ear.
Oh my god, Blue Ruin was incredible.
It was.
I didn't see it. I keep hearing about this movie
I think Marvin, that was your number 1.
That's my number 1 pick.
Number 7.
7 is Grand Budapest.
Okay, all right.
You gotta love Wes Anderson.
Easily one of my favorite films.
Honestly, that for me, that's up there with the Royal Tenenbaums.
It
is a damn good movie.
Since the Royal Tenenbaums, that is one of, I think, his best.
One of his best, right?
Ralph Fiennes alone is
he's fantastic.
I will say this, on a technical level, it is his most sophisticated film. I love how he used stop motion, miniatures. I love how he played with aspect ratios.
Yeah.
Shout out to his cinematographer, Yeoman.
9 Academy Award nominations.
it struck a chord with its audience. There's nothing I can say about that.
Very good. All right, Robbie, good job at number 7 there.
Yes.
All right.
Number 6 is Gone Girl.
Ah, that was
See, I didn't think
that was my
gonna like
7.
it.
That was number 7.
Yeah, so it's right about the same. I didn't think I was going to like it. I thought, oh god, David Fincher's doing another pulpy, crime-driven. Like, okay, he's a really talented director, but sometimes I get bored when he does stuff like that. But this was
I felt the whole. I felt the whole presentation of Gone Girl was so good.
Gone Girl was.
I'm just gonna say single for a while after watching that movie.
All right, so bottom half, Rob, recap
Yes.
the bottom half.
Recapping is whatever of the Planet of the Apes,
Okay.
Inherent Vice, Blue Ruin, Grand Budapest, and Gone Girl.
All right, now the top 5.
Now the top 5. And this one I had trouble placing on the list. I knew it was going to go on the list, but Imitation Game.
Ooh, very nice.
That is a damn good. I'm usually kind of bored with biopics, but it was damn good.
Yeah.
Number 4. Now 4 and 3 that I'm I just
They're interchangeable.
no. I love sci-fi. I'm a big.
Yeah.
I will automatically give sci-fi a couple of extra points. That's why I think
I know where
people
this is
roll
going.
their eyes that
I
these
know
are my
where this is going.
I respect you.
I know where this is going. But Ronnie, lay it on me. Number 4.
Number 4 is Interstellar.
And boom goes the dynamite. Marvin's favorite movie of all time.
Guys, it's your come joy of the year.
Honestly, I think it's better than Inception, and I put it on the same level as
my god!
Better than Inception. I don't know about that, but it's all good.
Again,
Elaborate, Robbie.
Please, this is why we do this, so it's
I
all
am
good.
just in love with sci-fi. I can't not put it on there. Number 3, this probably will be the bigger eye roll, is Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's fine.
Easily,
That's okay.
Easily one of the
It's
best
one of the most
films.
Yeah.
Easily one of the best films to come out this year.
Wow.
Easily.
Number 3. You were the number 3.
It was.
I'm not talking like Oscar movies.
It's one of the better Marvel movies. It absolutely is one of the better Marvel movies.
It was
Adore that movie.
It was one of the
watch
best felt movies I've seen in a long
Very
time.
fun.
Yeah.
I felt, it took me through a roller coaster of emotions. I felt good in the middle of it, at the beginning of it, at the end of it. I loved all the action. I loved the romance. I loved, the whole, random pack of, people who are loners or
Oh wait,
losers, stuff
sorry.
like that. I love that.
I don't mean to cut it. I
No,
just
yeah.
found this out the other day. This is really specific. You remember when they go into the prison
Yeah.
and Groot shoves his tree branches up a blue alien's nose?
Mm-hmm.
That was Nathan Fillion.
Yeah, that's Nathan Fillion.
I was like, yeah.
You know what it was? The movie had such a good, it's such a good humanity, and
The tone.
its willingness to entertain you is like
It
should be commended because it wants to give you everything.
Yeah,
That movie is just like it rolls the dice in entertainment and just here it is. Here's this different Marvel movie that no one thought didn't look like good on paper, but it just turned out one of the big hits of last year. Really, it's like one of the best stories of last year.
James Gunn in an interview said he was tired of what sci-fi films has been doing lately. He felt that a lot of sci-fi films were too pessimistic, and he wanted to go back to 1950s space operas.
Mm-hmm.
And even with the cinematography, was a lot of sci-fi films light with green hues. He wanted to do purple magentas. And it's in that even that detail, and it was funny, and like you said, it had great humanity to it. Yeah.
All right, but number 2, Robbie, top 2.
Number 2, Evan, this is no surprise to you. You know my top 2.
Oh yeah.
Because we've talked about it. I think the 2 best goddamn made movies of the year.
Oh yeah.
Number 2 is Whiplash.
That was my number 2.
Everybody's number 2.
It's really
Everybody's number
goddamn
2.
good.
I love
It
that
is.
movie. It was fantastic.
The acting, the score, and the editing. I feel like he's not
That's
getting
what I
enough
said,
props
man.
for the editing.
Oh, we're gonna go into that in a little bit now.
That's what I was saying.
Now before you give that, just for dramatic purposes, Robbie, give me 10 through 2, then you can go to number 1.
Okay.
The Five.
Number 10 is
Ryan
Gone to
said.
the Planet of the Apes.
Mhm.
Number 9 is Inherent Vice. 8, Blue Ruin. 7, Grand Budapest Hotel. 6, Gone Girl. 5, Imitation Game. 4, Interstellar. 3, Guardians of the Galaxy. 2, Whiplash. And number 1 movie of the year that blew me away when I thought it was going to be horrible was Birdman. stream of ignorance.
This is a Birdman House of Fame. Right. This is John. I saw Birdman with John. We were both like, oh yeah, this is that movie. George, did you see Birdman yet?
I did see Birdman.
Oh, dude,
It's-
I love Birdman.
It is just so
It was a nice. It was like,
crazy
it was like going to the theater.
It's my number one because every single part of, like, we'll talk about, the editing or the acting or the screenplay was good, and they'll usually be one or two things.
Mhm.
For Birdman, everything worked. The
Yes.
set direction,
Yes.
the fucking costumes, the score,
Cinematography.
everything worked.
And I love how comparable it is to Whiplash in like weird ways because both movies have drums to give off like
Yeah, very
an
heavy.
effect
And it's
feeling.
about performance. It's about performance.
Literally, yeah, both film. Yeah, this is performance, and I like that both performance.
Like pushing
sort of-
for success.
Yeah,
Very
sort of like
similar themes.
very significantly edited films.
But Whiplash was a more confident film. That's all I have to say.
Oh, here you
Well,
go.
you just didn't like Birdman.
Marcus was not a big Birdman fan. I rejoiced it. Smiles all around. Robbie, thank you so
Well, you know,
much.
speaking of, just one last thing.
Yeah,
Speaking
sure.
of upsetting Marvin, you might want to take your kiss back.
Oh,
I have a dishonorable mention.
dishonorable mention.
Ooh,
A film that you didn't like.
Can't wait.
Boyhood.
Oh, I'm
I
sorry.
know, I'm sorry. But
What we're gonna do is quick Oscar predictions, and I think here's what we'll do. I'll go around. I would like to go around the whole room here,
What do you need, Robbie?
yeah,
and you guys are going to tell me what you think will win, and what you personally think should win. Adapted screenplay.
Cheesy.
I pulled them up on our screen here, our Oscar screen, aka on television. American Sniper, Imitation Game, Inherent Vice, Theory of Everything, Whiplash, adapted screenplay. I'm going to go around the room.
Oh, screenplay.
I'm going to go around the room, get your guys, what do you think will win, who do you think should win? So Marvin, adapted screenplay, will win, should win.
Where do you see that?
Right in the middle here, right next to visual effects.
Yeah. I see. What it's easy for me to. Let me rephrase. It's easy for me to articulate what should win. I would actually say Whiplash and Inherent Vice. And I know, guys.
Yeah.
With Inherent Vice, what Paul Thomas Anderson did with adapting that into a screenplay was fantastic.
Yes.
Granted, it was kind of convoluted and like lacked direction, but with that book, it was so many films that could be told. He did filter it into one story. For what could have been, he did a good job with that. And also, Paul Thomas Anderson does deserve like an Academy Award.
He does.
Whiplash. I mean,
wait, has he not won?
No, he is not. He is without.
one.
He is without gold. I just want to see, Marvin, who do you think will actually win this?
What I think will actually win, I would probably say Imitation Game. Imitation Game definitely will win.
Okay.
Yeah.
But Whiplash definitely should win because Damien Chazelle, he's 28 years old, man. He's a baby, and
Why, Whiplash was a
it was adapted from a short film. That's like that defined.
Oh, from a short film. I thought
Yeah.
from a book.
No, he adapted it from the short film.
That he made himself.
Yeah,
right?
that he directed. It won a Grand Jury Prize at Sundance for shorts,
Yeah.
and
Cool.
I really believe that those should win. But Imitation
Word.
Game is definitely gonna
All
win.
right, Aberhante, should win, will win.
I don't know. I think will win is Theory of Everything.
Really?
I think should win. Whiplash, Imitation Game. I think American Sniper was pretty good, man.
All right.
I think American Sniper should win.
I think
It
Sniper's
was-
one of Clint Eastwood's better
Because
films
it
in a while.
was a true story.
Mhm.
I think they ended it pretty well, even though,
I thought they did too.
um,
I thought they did too. Yeah.
I just thought overall it was pretty good for like it wasn't a biopic, but for an adapted.
Sniper was probably better than it should have been.
Was that adapted? Was that a book? It was adapted.
Yeah, that was Chris Kyle, the main character in the film. He wrote the book, I believe, about basically himself. Heitzman, Robbie, will win, should win.
Should win, I think, Inherent Vice. If we're talking just going by adapted screenplay, getting another work and putting it into film in the most efficient, best way possible, I'd say probably Inherent Vice. I haven't read the book, but Spencer has.
Okay.
And from what he's told me, it seems to, the tone at least, is very much captured
Okay.
in the movie.
Alright.
Will win, I think it's between Imitation Game and American Sniper. Imitation Game because it was really tight script. It was well written, but American Sniper it was also good. I wasn't as thrilled with it, but I think that might be. I don't think it's going to go away
Sniper-
with nothing.
I think if
And I
anybody
think
can
American
Oh, sorry.
Well,
Guys.
it's called
Sniper,
American
right?
Sniper. It's much more patriotic for that one to win.
Yeah.
So that's my best.
All right. George, will win, should win.
For adapted screenplay, I will not cast a vote because I haven't seen 4 out of 5.
All right, cool. I would I think Whiplash should win too. I think that should win. I think Imitation Game probably will win. But if anybody can beat Imitation Game, I think American Sniper is probably the biggest threat. So that's kind of how I feel about that.
Okay.
Original screenplay: Birdman, Boyhood, Foxcatcher, Grand Budapest, Nightcrawler. Marvin, you first.
These are all original?
Yeah,
But
he's
I
all
think-
original.
I think which will win will be
Man, that's hard.
probably what I think will win will probably be Birdman. But what should win, and I know I know this sounds like a contradiction based on my previous comments, but what I think should win should be Grand Budapest Hotel, because it's a film about storytelling. It's a film.
Yeah.
The film starts off with a little girl trying to find like the thoughts of an author, and it goes into another story, and it goes to another story, and it's connected.
Okay.
You know, so that's why I think should beat it.
Okay. All right, Robbie.
Honestly, this is. I think Will Win will probably be. I'm just putting it on the safe money. I feel like Wes Anderson's movies usually get some kind of like at least acceptance in the way of writing. But honestly, looking at the rest of this list, it's kind of hard for me to pick because Foxcatcher was a pretty tight story.
Yeah.
Nightcrawler, I love that. The screenplay was one of the best parts. Birdman is Birdman. Like I said, everything works for that movie. Boyhood, I get that Richard Linklater did it from a lot of his life, which is fine and great to draw from that. But the dialogue really bothered me with that movie.
All right.
It was clunky hearing these like 90s like slackerisms coming out of the mouth of like
Cliches, yeah, I know.
coming out of the mouth of like 14-year-old something in like I guess what is it supposed to be like 2010 or around then or something like that. But will win. I think is Grand Budapest. Should win. I guess I'd have to say Birdman.
Cool. George Boy.
I mean, looking at all 5 of them, it's tough because they all really have great screenplays.
This is
too.
a really hard category.
Looking at it, I will say I think Wes Anderson will take it because not only does he have the most nominations, or his film has the most nominations this year, but I feel like Wes Anderson has always delivered a good screenplay, including in Grand Budapest Hotel. The story is amazing. Overall, the story is just a lovely fairy tale. It's hard though. It's hard though to speak. His Nightcrawler additionally was written really well. I mean, Jake Gyllenhaal's performance took it to a new level, but I mean, he was working off a character that was written, and Dan Gilroy did a great job writing that character. Foxcatcher, from what I hear, has an amazing story and arc, which probably has a brilliant screenplay attached to it. Boyhood, I mean, the technicality of Boyhood and the way that they actually made this film alone, I feel like shows that it has to have a beautiful screenplay, but Boyhood, I feel like, is probably the lesser of these 5. Just because it probably depends on so much of the technical aspects that they used over the course of time. Birdman, it's really, right now looking at it, Nightcrawler I feel like may get the short end of the stick, but right now I'm looking Birdman and Grand Budapest as the 2 front runners, but I ultimately think Grand Budapest may take it because Birdman may take some of the higher wins. So I could see Grand Budapest definitely snagging this, or Wes Anderson winning that Oscar for himself.
Cool. Well, here's my thoughts on this to finish up with the original screenplay, because usually there's always 2 films, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's always 2. Every Oscar, there's always 2 films. Even back when they were doing 5, there's always 2 films that have a real chance, and usually there's always 2 neck and neck. And usually, one film is in one writing category, and the other film is another. Like example, in 2010, King's Speech won original, and Social Network won adapted. Those are really the 2 films that are really neck and neck. Now, this year, I can honestly say, we'll get to this when we talk about picture, it's a coin flip. It's a real coin flip between Birdman and Boyhood, and then I think Budapest is the dark horse here in this race, and they're all in the same category.
So Grand Budapest Hotel is the writing equivalent of Ross Perot.
Yes.
1996.
Yes, and that's kind of what this is because you can tell what films should be winning Best Picture, and a lot of it comes from the screenplay. It's like one of these, you kind of have to win a screenplay. You probably should win a director one, and that's usually how it kind of leads to picture. Obviously, and that's changed over the years. But I think it's hard for a movie to win Best Picture without nagging a screenplay award. And I think I can't remember a film that actually pulled that off without either. 12 Years a Slave adapted screenplay and won Best Picture. Because I think in terms of screenplay, it's really down to Boyhood and Birdman as ones that probably should be winning if those are the real contenders for Best Picture. It probably should be down to two of them. And Budapest isn't really a threat to win Best Picture, but I think it's also the best to win original screenplay. I think Birdman should win, but I think Budapest will win. Let's go to supporting actor here. This might be kind of a one-legged race here, but I'll make this kind of a group thing. Actor in a supporting role: Robert Duvall, The Judge; Ethan Hawke, Boyhood; Ed Norton, Birdman; Mark Ruffalo, Foxcatcher; J.K. Simmons, Whiplash. I would assume pretty obvious J.K. Simmons is going to win here.
J.K. Simmons is going to win. That's all I have to say.
And Robbie George?
J.K. Simmons, I think, is almost a lock at this point.
Yeah.
I will say, if there was one other person that I would, if it didn't go to J.K. Simmons, I would say Ethan Hawke.
J.K. Simmons will win, should win. I didn't want to spend too much time on this, only because I think it's pretty obvious who's going to win here. I think it's the same thing for Best Supporting Actress. Patricia Arquette, Boyhood. She's winning, right?
Yeah.
Patricia Arquette's winning? Okay. Laura Dern in Wild, I thought she was great in that. Keira Knightley, Imitation Game, thought she was great in that. Emma Stone, Birdman, thought she was amazing in that. Can we get Meryl Streep out of here?
Meryl Streep, we love you, but just...
We loved her 3 times!
Anymore.
We've loved her 3 times.
From what I keep on hearing, Patricia Arquette's the go-to because...
She's the go-to here, man.
I mean, she's phenomenal.
I love how the
actress.
picture is just on her.
Patricia
All the rest
Arquette, she had the hardest job.
She's a phenomenal actress.
And
everything she's brought to us on the screen has been wonderful. I mean, given the scope that Boyhood's in, I'm sure that this is the role of a lifetime for her, and that it'll only show.
And she's had to carry that for 12 years, too. I know everyone hates the 12-year gimmick, but she's had to be the weight of that. Film editing. American Sniper. Boyhood. Grand Budapest. The Imitation Game. Whiplash.
So, this one is tough for me.
Yeah.
There's two Grand Budapest. Editing was fine. It was just fine.
Mm-hmm.
Imitation Game was just fine.
Yeah.
The editors, they did a phenomenal job.
I think you can take those two. I really do.
No, it's really, to me, it's just really 3. It's between Whiplash, Boyhood, and American Sniper. And listeners may be like...
I don't think Sniper should be counted. Sniper's a real threat here.
Yeah, Sniper's a real threat because you had to use a sound design.
Yeah.
Just anything with heavy sound design comes into editing. Just the way that you had to splice together movements and different coverage, and there was a lot of there's a lot of coverage in this film, and it didn't feel that way because the editing was so seamless.
Yeah,
I can't express again. I have to repeat this, guys. There were a shit amount of coverage in this movie, but as an audience member, you don't feel it. It's just like okay, it's just you don't feel the cuts.
All right.
With Boyhood, everyone's probably rolling eyes. It's like, oh, Boyhood, it's just... what's the editing? The editing was invisible in that movie because you have to think about it.
Yeah, because I think Boyhood is... I think this is one of the categories Boyhood... Call me crazy. I think it kind of has to. I think it almost has to win editing.
Because it's... you have to think about it. It's 12 films.
That was the whole gimmick.
It's 12 films combined into one film.
The whole 12-year thing, I don't see how Boyhood doesn't win.
Because every year was its own indie film.
Yeah, and you've had to edit that forever. So I think Boyhood will and should.
And also you have to look at it with Boyhood. It's like every year you never felt, oh, he's age 11 now, he's age 12. It was just like that
was very seamless.
It fell into place. And Whiplash, my God.
And I noticed Birdman is absent from this category too, which I think is actually kind of interesting.
It's absent because it should be absent.
It's absent.
It should be absent. Whiplash, it was incredible. Again, similar to American Sniper, it had a lot of coverage in this movie, and it was just. It was a lot of fast cuts.
Okay.
But it like it wasn't jarring, and you felt and you understood the geography of scenes. You understood the performances.
Yeah.
And and everything was coherent.
Now, George, let me ask you, because George, I know you're big in editing too, and I know you saw American Sniper, and one thing I was actually pretty impressed with is how American Sniper kind of cut in his family life and life at Life on Tour, and I thought that was actually really well done.
Yes.
So what do you think?
American Sniper, I think, had some fantastic editing. I think it really helped keep the pace of the story moving forward, and it really gave us a look into the psychology that was behind what was his name? Chris Kyle?
Chris Kyle, yeah.
Chris Kyle and Bradley Cooper's portrayal of him. I think it showed not only the feelings of war and war weariness,
yeah,
as well as the fatigue war brings on, but also the inevitability and the realization of coming home to a non-war constricted place and to a family and to a much simpler style of life. I think it also is great because it's the first step and one of the first showcases of on film at least, of really showing the post-traumatic stress and the realization that many of our soldiers come back to after being in these war-torn countries for months to years at a time.
Yeah.
So I do give a lot of credit to Clint Eastwood for that. I think it was really well edited, well-made film. Grand Budapest Hotel, I thought, had some excellent editing as well, as do most of Wes Anderson's projects. I just think he really just gives you that fairy tale-like feel, and I feel like with every chapter of the Grand Budapest Hotel, it's almost like you're turning the page in a pop-up book for kids, and it's just fantastic.
Cool. Sorry, Robbie? Sorry.
Oh, do we skip Robbie?
No, I figured I knew. Yeah, it's
We're
okay.
not going anywhere.
Yeah.
They can't see where we're sitting.
It's okay.
The thing with film editing, it's hard to, because editing, it should always be, not always, but it's works well when you don't notice it. Which is the thing. I didn't really notice the editing in American Sniper that much. I mean, there were a couple of things that stood out.
Which is why it was that good.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely well done. And, the same thing with Boyhood. I know I've been ragging on it a lot, but the way that, Marvin was right, the way that it flows, like, seamlessly, it really works for the movie. And even though I'm not thrilled with the way the movie worked, the editing really served the intended purpose.
All right, now...
Which makes it great.
Now, between Robbie and George, with editing, I know, George, don't worry if you haven't seen all of these, but I think you have what you think will and should win with editing. What are you guys thinking?
I think will and should is both Whiplash.
Okay.
From what I heard,
nice.
Again,
But both statement, Robbie, impressive.
I have to see Whiplash, but from what I keep hearing,
I think we should watch Whiplash today.
I think Whiplash. Yeah, I think Whiplash is kind of like the shoe-in from what I keep hearing. I mean, again, if that should win, then I hope it does. Out of what I've seen, Grand Budapest, I would not be upset with and American Sniper. But I mean, all 5 films look like they support great editing.
There's a good chance, and I'm thinking editing. I think Boyhood will and should, and that's me. All right, so we're gonna wrap this up. The last few categories. Director.
Let's do actors.
You guys want to do actors?
And then directing, and then best picture.
Okay, sure. All right,
Because
cool.
directing bleeds right in.
All right. Oh, there you go. Good stuff, Robbie. All right. Actor, actress. I'll go actress first. Ladies first. Actress in a leading role. Marion Cotillard, who keeps popping up randomly. 2 Days, One Night. Felicity Jones, Theory of Everything. She was probably my favorite part. Julia Moore, still Alice. I'm thinking that's the lock.
Yeah.
Rosamund Pike, Gone Girl. Reese Witherspoon, Wild. Yeah. I think Julia Moore's a lock. What do you guys think?
Julianne Moore's a lot, but Rosamund Pike should win.
Okay.
And Reese Witherspoon, her performance in Wild was...
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know she still had that in her.
I didn't think so, too. I was very impressed.
Did I watch this? I had dismissed it out of hand.
I mean, it's a little slow moving. It's very scenic. A lot of scenery you have to chew, but I think it's worth it. I think it's worth checking out. Jorge, I know some of you haven't seen, but I think everyone's saying Julianne Moore is
I mean, I hear Julianne Moore.
And I think she will and should. Yeah.
I think she will.
All right. Cool.
Yeah.
Very good. All right. Okay, I think this is one of my favorite actor lineups in a long time. Best actor in a leading role: Steve Carell, Foxcatcher. I think that's his first time in there. Bradley Cooper, American Sniper, second time in there. Benedict Cumberbatch, Imitation Game. I think that's his first time in there. Eddie Redmayne, Theory of Everything. I think that's his first time in there. Michael Keaton, Birdman. I'm not sure if he's been in there before. This is tough.
Yeah.
I think this is a coin flip. I absolutely 100% think Michael Keaton should win this. However, as much as I don't like to say it, I think Eddie Redmayne's going to win here.
Yeah, that's understandable. But
I'm very disappointed. That's a heartbreaker. I'm very disappointed.
I want to ask though that this is going to come out kind of dickish, but
man.
what would a bad performance like that have looked like? I mean, it obviously was difficult for him to get into character and the physical and the way he spoke and everything, but like I feel like it wouldn't have been hard it would have been hard to do a bad job.
I think so too. I absolutely think so too.
I'm not super thrilled. I mean, he did a good job. I'm not super thrilled with it. Steve Carell, honestly, the reason why I'm glad he's on this list is because when I was watching that movie, I forgot it was Steve Carell, which is what I thought was going to be a problem.
He disappeared, man. And the same thing was, and I think, and Mark, what do you think here? I'm just
everything you guys are saying. If I can't say anything else because it would be redundant. Steve Carell. I mean, I think Steve Carell should win, but I honestly think Michael Keaton will win. I mean, maybe I'm taking something from your vernacular, but Eddie Redmayne is the dark horse, in my opinion.
Oh, he's been winning everything.
Yeah, but like
he's been winning everything.
Michael Keaton is in a film that's about the industry.
It's about the industry, and also this is an actor who has worked and been respected for many years.
Without winning, which is it's a thing that should be taken into account. But maybe it's just time because this might be the performance of his career,
of his life, and I think it's just like how great would it be for him to win for that? I want Michael Keaton to win. I think he should win. But I think Eddie Redmayne's going to take it. It's kind of a coin flip. George, any thoughts before I move on?
What, the actor?
Yeah.
I mean, Michael Keaton's up there. Bradley Cooper, I think, is up there, but I don't know if he'll necessarily win. I feel like Michael Keaton's gonna take it because he was playing himself and really pouring himself out there.
I think they'll do the right thing. So, all right, guys, we're gonna blow through these last two things real quick because these are the hand in hand. These are like hip bones connected to this bone type of award.
Not for the last 3 years.
Thank you, Robin. Thank you for bringing that up. The past 3 years, there's been a weird history of it was either 3 years or 2 years, whatever. The past couple of years, whoever wins Best Director, their film doesn't win Best Picture. It's happened. I think the last time the Best Director and Picture thing lined up was The Artist, and that was like 4 years ago.
And after that,
that was 3 years ago. That was 3 years ago.
Ang Lee won for Best Director.
Ang Lee won Best Director for Life of Pi. And Argo, in 2012, Ang Lee won Director, and Life of Pi.
Which no one was really
Argo
mad
won
at.
Best Picture.
No one was really
No,
mad at.
I was actually surprised that because remember that year that Ben Affleck did Argo and he wasn't nominated, that was kind of everyone's.
Yeah.
And Ang Lee had already won prior, but he was probably the most deserving of Life of Pi. And then Argo wins Best Picture, and then we go into last year. Alfonso Cuarón wins Director for Gravity, and 12 Years a Slave wins Best Picture. So then this has been kind of like a thing that's been happening, and I think this might happen again this year. I don't know.
I kind of hope it does.
Because, let's run it through here. Morton Tilden, The Imitation Game. Bennett Miller for Foxcatcher. Wes Anderson, good for him on this.
Yeah.
For Grand Budapest Hotel. Again, the two dogs in the yard seem to be Richard Linklater for Boyhood and Alejandro Inarritu for Birdman.
Yeah, those are the only two people that's nominated.
Those are the two, yeah. You have two nominations and three camera shots.
Yeah.
Basically, hard, because we all have such strong, passionate opinions.
I mean, this is what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Best Director.
Yeah.
Between Richard Linklater and Inarritu is that this is Linklater's, honestly, this is his last
chance.
This is his last masterpiece. I mean, he had a solid trilogy.
Yeah.
But the Before trilogy, which all three of them masterpieces.
And Boyhood such that hollow opus and everything.
Yeah, it was. And Boyhood was just like his greatest hits.
That movie, I get lost in that film sometimes.
Yeah.
Like Boyhood does have, and here's why. And here's my thoughts here. My official thoughts with Boyhood. I saw it over the summer. I thought it was fantastic. I know people really the response really started to get kind of hot, and I hate when people sort of overreact to films. But in Boyhood, it was warranted. And then I saw Birdman. I'm like, this is not only technically pleasing, the performances are entertaining. And with Birdman, the whole thing, it feels like you're in a show. It feels like you're a part of the film itself. It really does. And I think Inarritu directed the hell out of that. And I think Linklater did an incredible job directing Boyhood too. So the problem is with Birdman and Boyhood, you really have two masterpieces. I think you have two masterful directions.
Oh, Inarritu. The thing about Inarritu,
you have two masterful directing here.
Inarritu has been shooting out masterpieces for a while too. But the thing about what the Academy may look at is that, well, Inarritu, you're going to get one very soon. Richard Linklater, well, we don't know.
And Birdman has been winning almost. Birdman has won the PGA. It's won the Screen Actors Guild. It's won the Writers Guild. And I think Birdman has a Writers Guild. Wait, I could be wrong.
Okay.
I think I'm wrong about the writing. But Birdman has been winning these awards.
The DGA.
Birdman won the DGA.
Birdman won DGA.
And usually whoever wins DGA
is winning.
Is winning.
It's winning.
It's winning.
But I think the Academy is going to be like, listen, we're gonna give to Richie.
Which is probably why Birdman has been winning all these Guild Awards. I think Birdman's been winning all these awards. It could soften the blow because it's like, all right, we need. I think people have enough sentimentality for Boyhood that they want to give it that Oscar win, and I think they realize that. And Marv, I think you have a good point. Is that this could be Linklater's last great film?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's gonna be his last great film, but this is gonna be the last.
This could be his last Oscar
film.
And this is really the first time I've seen him as like an Oscar threat here too. Like,
yeah, he got nominated like 4 or 5 times as
a writer. Okay. As a writer, but as a director,
this is like he's always been seen as a kid.
This is also an American, a classic American storyteller too. Yeah. Nationalism, Robbie. Honestly, this is hard, dude. This is really hard.
It is really a coin flip. I almost want to bargain. I want to bargain to the gods of the Oscars to be like, okay, Linklater can win directing so long as Birdman wins Best Picture.
See, I don't know if I like that.
I don't know if I like that. With that.
My problem is because I'm kind of tired of the split because it's almost like, I won the best. I got the best directed film for what? The best directed film doesn't win Picture of the Year. I just have a hard time with that. And it's happened before.
Going to the.
I still. You know what? I'm still. Marvin, I think they're going to give it to Linklater.
Yeah, of course.
I think they're going to give it to Linklater. But I do think Inarritu. I think Birdman. I think deserves it slightly more in terms of how everything was.
Honestly, let me just say this.
And that's by like a few feet.
And this is a segue to Best Picture. They might give it to Inarritu, but if Inarritu wins Best Director, Boyhood will most definitely win Best Picture. Most definitely will win Best Picture.
If Inarritu wins Best Director,
Boyhood's going to win Best Picture.
I think that's what's going to be the real endgame.
Yeah,
and I think
I hope it's the other way around.
Yeah, I know. Damn.
When the president of the United States, that people, when the president is popular and he so happens to be the president of the United States, and he says his favorite film of the year was Boyhood.
No, wait, who said that? Who said that?
Barack
Obama said that.
That was his favorite film of the year.
Did Barack Obama see Birdman?
Did Barack Obama see Birdman?
Did he see?
Can that be the tagline for this podcast?
Did Barack Obama see Birdman? I don't know. I'm thinking this could be a thank you Oscar to Richard Linklater. I think at the end of the day, part of me feels that Boyhood might just do a sweep. But then again, Boyhood's not. We don't have Boyhood as a favorite for the screenplay. So on what other merit is Boyhood going to win Best Picture and Director on?
Honestly, for me,
that's another thing.
The biggest merits that the movie has is directing and their supporting actor and actresses.
Yeah,
that to me is like the big 3 that are really pushing the movie through.
And I think Birdman juggles everything seamlessly well, and I do think Birdman On Merit should probably be getting this. Birdman sweeps it. I'm a happy camper because Birdman was my top film of the year. Although I can appreciate them giving it to Richard Linklater in Boyhood. And I'm gonna read the Best Picture nominations, people, but it's kind of pointless.
It's kind of pointless.
Well, no, I have a
I'm gonna
thing
read.
that
I'm
I
gonna
wanna
read.
go into.
I'm gonna read them. Yeah, because we can talk about some things here. And so I'm sorry, George. I'll get back to you in a second, dude. Best Picture. All right, so Best Picture. People, these are the
fillers?
best.
You mean the fillers? Evan?
Yes, the fillers. Okay, we have the. Here's are the six fillers and the 2 actuals.
And I'm sorry for your Selma fans, but
Selma. Okay, all right. Well,
Selma wasn't
Selma's
black.
Let's just do it like this. I'll just read them off and we'll just do a discussion. All right, Selma. All right, first film. Selma nominated for Best Picture. I thought Selma was great. Theory of Everything.
The standard cookie cutter British biopic.
Yeah. True. Imitation Game. I think with great tight script. I think the only thing that comes. I think Imitation Game might get adapted screenplay. I think that's all it really gets here.
Yeah, it was a good movie, but it's getting edged out by some bigger, better.
And I think Selma was a victim of that too.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's go. Whiplash. Whiplash was like the black swan to me. That was that fucking that chest pounding, exuberant film. I think a lot of people really responded to. Another performance driven film, and American Sniper. This has been the money film. Like, this has been, breaking records. Everyone's seeing it. I saw it twice. Both times I saw it, the theater was packed.
it's a
Film about war, man. That's so touchy thing, man. That's what a lot of people...
I don't want to go into this because I'm going to sound like the over-politicized commentator on this. So, whatever. Let's just go. Let's just skip this.
Very good. And then the 3 real people... I'm sorry.
Are you saying Grand Budapest is in the 3?
I think Grand Budapest is the 3rd dark horse here, actually.
Oh, it's snowing.
And it's snowing, yeah, it's snowing.
I think Grand Budapest will win. I hope Grand Budapest wins just because
it's tied with
I
Birdman with
personally
most
love
Oscars.
it. I think Birdman may very well win just because of the love it's gotten and the appreciation it's gotten as a great film. American Sniper, another one. Very much since the Academy is an American institution,
and that's really the big mainstream.
American Sniper is a huge mainstream film that delivers quite a punch, especially to citizens of the United States.
True.
True. Boyhood, I think, could be a big surprise to a lot of people. I think Boyhood could sneak in there and win because
that's been the sentimental favorite for months.
I know, and the thing is, Boyhood has had quite an impact in showing us a new way of creating films and crafting these stories. I mean, we all are, filmmakers derived from magicians originally and illusionists, and the whole thought of filmmaking was the theory of an illusion. I mean, you have a director here, Richard Linklater, who in fact tells the story over the course of time in such a in-depth, emotion-filled way. It's almost like he cuts the best, some of the most monumental moments of growing up as a teenager and puts them into a perspective that so many can understand. Watching
it's real.
this
It's painfully
you watch
real.
this child grow up, and it's so intriguing not to see a character that's younger than him playing the same character. It's like, this is the same kid.
It's the same person, same thoughts,
time. It's the same kid.
beliefs. I think Boyhood is that film that the masses can really flock to, and I think everyone can relate to Boyhood in some way. I think everyone sees a little bit of their childhood in that. I think so. And Robbie, Robbie, this is your moment now.
Yeah,
this is your Boyhood, your anti-Boyhood moment.
I disagree. You guys are saying it feels so real. Honestly, it felt kind of fake to me. I don't know if. I mean, my parents didn't get divorced till late, so I don't really know how it.
Yeah.
You probably would have seen more of my childhood in it then. But
yeah, I was that young when their parents split up too. When my parents split up,
Okay.
I was Mason's age.
So that that would make sense. But honestly, the like I said before, the best things about this movie were Ethan Hawke and Patricia Arquette, and Linklater. I mean,
To clarify, I was Mason as a boy. I was that young when my parents split up. Just to clarify, I was that. Yeah, I was that young.
Yeah, no, which is understandable why you would definitely see more similarities in your life and be pulled.
I was just poor. My parents got divorced when I was just poor, so like anything I can relate to that movie.
Yeah, and the extended family thing, obviously that was another thing too. Like in young extended family, and granted, they took the extended family thing to a whole different level when they
the film is not about a boy's life; it's about family. It's
a family portrait. I think it really is. I think my mother loved. Oh, she loved it when I told her she.
The movie's just about Lorelai Linklater's character and Patricia Arquette. It's a movie that analyzes the role of what the American landscape of family really is in contemporary America.
And I think for the first time since watching the show with you guys, we've been kind of watching the show and do for a while now. For about I think it's like the sixth year we've done this. I don't think there's ever been this hard of a coin flip between Best Picture winner because the 50% of me says Boyhood and 50% of me says Birdman.
Yeah, I'm 100% behind Birdman should win.
I would love it if Birdman won.
I understand that the chances are pretty damn even.
And I wouldn't be upset if Boyhood won, but if Birdman won, that'd be kind of nice. So, any closing thoughts, guys? I know we ran a little late, but it's fine. I had a good time doing this.
It's been great.
It's been really good. Final thoughts, Marvin, on these films?
No.
I think there's a lot of room for surprise.
There's a lot of room
for surprise here.
I mean, I just think the apparatus for the Academy should really be overhauled. But
I agree with that.
But I can't complain too much about what I see. I just,
I think it's a flip, and this really shows how good the year was. Like we always knew this would be a strong year. I thought last year's lineup was really good. I really did. I think last year's films was really good, but I think what the thing is this year, because I still think I like last year's lineup of films a little more, because there was some great stuff in there last year. But I think this year is when things were really tight and close. Because last year Gravity just took a bunch of things. Robbie, I know how much you love Gravity. Gravity was the winner. That was a seven.
The thing about Gravity is
it didn't win Best Picture.
It won Best Picture, but no, it didn't.
12 Years Slave
12 Years Slave won Best Picture, but the thing about Gravity is just 6 months after the Academy Awards, people start to realize wow, Gravity wasn't that good of a movie.
People will forget about a lot of these, and
wow, Gravity kind of sucked.
And I can see a movie like Boyhood kind of carrying over for a long time. And I think people will appreciate Birdman on its technical greatness. And I think that kind of says it up. So, guys, thank you so much for doing this podcast this afternoon. Marvin, as always, a pleasure. Robbie Heitzman, George Katsopoulos, you guys are my guests.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much. Okay, guys, thank you for sticking around. These are my thoughts on the Oscar show that took place from this past Sunday. I'm recording this as of Thursday evening. I did my thoughts on the pre-show on Saturday. I'm sorry about the delay, but I'm here. I'm ready. I'm ready to get into my thoughts here. The best thing about the Oscars was probably Neil Patrick Harris. I thought it was very funny. I thought the pacing of the show was really good for the most part, thanks to him. The show did run a little long, but I thought Neil Patrick Harris did a great job. I love the opening. Jack Black was really funny. I had a good time with the opening. It was a very good opening. Best film editing went to Whiplash. Best live action short film went to The Phone Call. Best documentary feature went to Citizen 4. Best animated short film went to Feast. Best makeup was for the Grand Budapest Hotel. The Imitation Game won Best Adapted Screenplay. Interstellar won Best Visual Effects. Best Original Score went to the Grand Budapest Hotel. Big Hero 6 won Best Animated Feature Film. Birdman won Cinematography. Birdman won Original Screenplay. Patricia Arquette won for Best Supporting Actress in Boyhood. Best Original Song went to Glory with John Legend in Common. Best Supporting Actor, J.K. Simmons in Whiplash. Best Foreign Language Film was from Ida. Best Director, Alejandro Inarritu. Best Actress, Inarritu directed Birdman. Best Actress, Julianne Moore for Still Alice. Best Actor, Eddie Redmayne for Theory of Everything. And Best Picture went to Birdman. So, and also I think American Sniper won sound editing. I think Whiplash won sound mixing. It was a pretty good show. I was right on all my actor choices. And my favorite film of the year, Birdman, had the screenplay, director, and picture sweep. I was very happy about that. I'm glad Grand Budapest got its love and recognition. Thought it was a very good show. Everyone who I wanted to win, all the right people won. Thought it was very good. So thank you so much for listening on my post-Oscar thoughts. Again, sorry for the delay, but thank you so much for sticking around. You guys take care. Bye.